We've had some challenging days, but they've just grinded through all those tough heats, those slower heats, to earn that moment, haven't they?
Yeah, it's obviously some pumping waves today, and the fans have turned up, and all the boys are putting on the show. And like I said, it's electric. It's buzzing down on the rocks there, and yeah, obviously everyone's enjoying the show.
Yeah, it can be really deadly, and he's going to get things started now. So a fresh clock for these two Brazilian greats, and Miguel's going to get started with a clean whip off the top, out onto the open face. This wave's slowing down. He punches through the lip, sets the fins free before holding that rail beautifully through some tricky lumps. And this has been a really nice sequence of turns as Pupo brings it through to the inside. On the live rankings, this is your number one once again, but he's going to have to hold off the fight of Yago Dora, who's powering through heats on this same side of the draw to keep his position at the top of the ranks. But this has been a beautiful opening ride, a 15-minute lull, and then straight into action here with a fresh clock. You love to see it.
Far out, what a cool wave, Billy. I mean, that was just down the line speed from the very tip of the point right down to the boat ramp.
First exchange.
Yeah, look, what I think is cool here is there seems to be no downtime on this wave at all. It's just a big power speed check to get going, but he throws plenty of spray. Throws the tail out and a little drift on that one, then engages the rail for a cut down. He cuts it short, speeds again. Like, this is one of the most down the line.
Live action, it's low on the outside, looking for a response. Ooh, he was two mines there, thought about launching, then opted to go to a big grab rail carve. Didn't quite set that rail the way he would have liked. Here we go, some movement on the outside. It is going to be Italo. And much like Yago, has so many tricks he can go to. Loading up for something big. Gets the rail grab.
Oh, wow.
And he's going to stick a buttery landing as well. Nice rail turn there to combo it up. In fact, 3 beautiful turns to start at a 4th. And he's on his way to an excellent ride. And he flexes the tail, gets some release there. And this way standing up pretty nicely through the inside as well. His boards have looked so sharp at different stages throughout the season. He found something magic down here in New Zealand, and he's going to take this one right through to the inside. Wouldn't be surprised if he finds a little pop here on the inside as well. Still flaring away, but the opening combination is where the points were as he kicks out there on the inside.
Take it off, obviously deep up the point, waiting for that initial section at the start of the wave, and he just, again, following Yago's lead, just hucks it into the wind and straight off the bottom into a nice little carve down, and sets up for a little drop the wallet here. And then obviously he's holding his speed really well through that chop, and I mean, it's a pretty complete wave here.
Mate, the adrenaline spike that he must get after landing something just so dynamic and off chops is like, it's there to see. You know, he just goes to town once that thing opens up for him on the inside.
He is always a little energy, a couple of Red Bulls as we see Miggy here.
Miguel now looking to stay on pace. We know we can expect a solid score for Italo. Miguel's going to take a fall there. Just drifted across that lip and lost touch with his equipment after we see some of these live rides. But the way this guy can cover sections with these airs is remarkable. Again, he does it there, almost covering enough distance to get out onto the open face. Eventually he finds his way to that green wall, and now we'll get on the attack here. So looking to back up that 9-point ride, and he is on his way as he swings the board into reverse, staying nice and tight to the pocket here as this wave moves right through to the inside and really close to this crowd who's making so much noise for these competitors. So much flair in his approach, and we know when this wind starts to blow, Italo starts to rub his hands together, because his strike rate with those big airs is one of the best on tour, no doubt. Yeah, but he did it again here.
Yeah, you didn't need to get the replay here, but obviously he's fanging down the line again. And I feel like when he does these punts, he's already like thinking of the next section. He's always thinking, engaging that rail to try and get that speed into the next turn. And he's done well to make it around the section here, and just slicing and dicing down the side. It was a bit of a smaller wave, but then he just hucks the tail again. Kind of a different variety of the air, a bit more of a nose pick. So it's cool to see him like trying different things and mixing it up a bit.
A couple of the greatest exponents of that manoeuvre that I ever saw were Ry Crakey and Clay Marzo. Just were able to explode and get the tail so high. We've seen a lot of rotations on that inside bowl, but Italo found a really nice section to get a more vertical approach and really wrench that tail up into the sky. I think there'll be a lot of points in that second major move as well.
Yeah, this is going to be... It's so interesting how long he holds and just waits for the ideal little ramp. You know, he's not bottom turning or anything. He's actually spring loaded and coiled and just waiting for the moment. Look at this. So right here, he just makes the call and look, holds, and then just lets the spring pop. And that's what extend out into the air. And he's got another one.
Here we go. The waves are pumping. That spark and flare that Italo possesses zaps him off his board on that occasion. But he has got a good score on the way, and things are going to get difficult here for Miguel.
Every single heat. Some heats are slower than others, but every heat has had superb surfing, huge scores, buzzer beaters, and some of the best rides we've ever seen.
Italo swings on the inside here. Goes to the sky. Amazing. Again, the projection out onto the open face is so impressive. The wind is lying down just a little bit here. Or maybe it's swung in its direction because these faces are looking a little cleaner now as Miguel, with a whole lot of speed, comes flying down the line, out onto the open face. He swings that tail, knowing that he's got to really surf with a bit more risk in his approach because there's a lot to celebrate. We're going to have an epic post-show to dive into the big stories. Back to live action, though. The last quarterfinal heat on the men's side, and Miguel Pupo flaring up at the moment, chasing a 9.13 to get back in front. Started the heat well with a 7.5, but Italo put together brilliant back-to-back rides to get himself the lead here.
Planet, because this is a big heat total that he's got to chase down, but you can see he's really going at the lip. You know, the bottom turns have so much drive in him, and he's really just
have to go his way as we see him here again, looking under pressure.
He's got that linker and flow between his moves, maybe a little more than Italo, so he can find the major moments. He's certainly a chance. He looks for one here. But have a look at that. That wind is wreaking havoc. You've got to get the launch right, Billy. You can speak to us about that. Just can't help himself. He's just got to keep surfing, and he's picking one off here. You can see what he's thinking already, loading up. And he's going to take to the sky. He's pushed it hard on a couple of rides now. He's in that position where he can afford to. But he's got to be careful. We've seen clutch moments from competitors. He's kind of handed an opportunity back to Miguel there. Slow swinging here on the inside, under priority. He'll just continue to put on a show for the crowd. This one, though, gets away from him just a little too deep in this instance. Don't forget that Miguel is trying to hold his position at the top of the rankings here.
Clear in this heat that Italo is so primed to make a real run at it. He's been so close.
Here he goes again.
In the last few years, Ron, like he's been there on finals days. He's come within a heat.
In the Corona Cero post-show, but we've still got more action to get through before we wrap this day. Some semi-final heats coming up for the women with Betty Lou Sakura Johnson taking on Carissa Moore.
Italo, what an incredible heat. A 9. Just, you backed up after that 10 of Yago Dora. I mean, that must have hyped you up for that last heat.
Yeah, I was like on the rocks when I saw like Yago pedaling for the wave. He was like kind of needed like a 9 point something, and he did like some big maneuver on the first move, and I was like, I jumped in the water like super excited to do something like similar or like something big too, and then I was like super excited on that heat, like trying to do some crazy combinations, you know, and then I had a 9.1, and I was so glad to have that kind of like combination during the heat, and after that I had like 7 points. So and then between like on half of the heat the wind just got a little bit stronger, and that was kind of like difficult to do something like big after, but that was a cool hit against Miguel. He's doing like really good this year. He won bells. He feeling like so good, confident, and then it's really nice when we have all the Brazilians on the same heat, so we push each other. Yeah.
How special is it as well, you know, to be watching heats before you and to kind of see how people are drawing their lines on the wave and to draw inspiration from that?
Yeah, it's crazy because we always like watching the heat before, and then I saw like Yago's ripping, Cole ripping too, and I was like, wow, it's my turn. Let's go. So we just need to have the good wall, like good wave to do the combos and then just surf. Yeah, because that's what we love to do, and try some always like going big and push the score.
You're coming up against Cole against Yago in the semi-finals. You and Yago have met head-to-head 7 times, and you've got him 4-3. You hoping to make it 5?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good heat for sure. We're gonna try to surf as much as we can, like trying to do some crazy turns, crazy airs. So I hope that tomorrow we can have a little bit more waves so we can perform. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that heat for sure.
Semi-finals is huge. Congratulations, Italo.
Cool. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone in Brazil, and especially my wife. And then, let's keep going. Yeah.